Hello and welcome to Target UPSC 2024. So this is the last episode of economy, that is episode 9, economy current affairs. So let's begin. The first topic is reform by RBI for financial inclusion and digital innovation. Financial inclusion and digital innovation. So the Reserve Bank of India's governor has announced several changes which is aimed at promoting greater economic inclusivity and enhancing the use of information technology for economic activities during a press conference on monetary policy decisions. So, recent development which is proposed by the RBI, so that is cash deposit facility via UPI. So, cash will be deposited through the facility of the UPI, that is the Unified Payment Interface. So, customers will soon have the option to deposit cash at the cash deposit machines in banks and ATMs using the UPI app. So, till now we can deposit cash and then we can transfer money, but through UPI this facility was not available, but very soon this facility will also be available. Currently, cash deposits at CDMs typically require the use of a debit card. And UPI is one of the major systems which is operated by the NPCI, which integrates multiple bank accounts into a single mobile application. So a person can access all his or her different bank accounts through a single app. Then allowing third-party apps to access UPI for prepaid system instruments. So third-party apps to access UPI for prepaid payment instruments, prepaid. So currently UPI payments from PPIs must be made using the web or mobile app provided by the PPI issuer. Then RBI proposed allowing users to use the third-party UPI apps to make UPI payment from PPI wallets, and then PPIs are instruments that facilitate the purchase of goods and services, financial services and remittance facilities against the stored money. So this will also be done through UPI. Then permit foreign portfolio investors to invest in the sovereign green bond. So FPIs will be allowed to invest in the sovereign green bond. So the RBI will allow eligible foreign investors in the International Financial Services Center to invest in the sovereign green bond. And not all FPI will be allowed, few FPIs will be allowed, and these FPI needs to be registered with the SEBI. These can invest in sovereign green bond through various investment routes available for FPIs in government securities. So FPI can invest in government security, and now they will be allowed to invest in the sovereign green bonds, but these FPI needs to be registered with the SEBI. And then the sovereign green bond fund projects with positive environmental or climate benefits such as renewable energy, clean transportation and green buildings. Mobile app for retail direct scheme. So RBI will introduce a mobile app for its retail direct scheme launched in 2021. So the scheme has been launched in the year 2021. And the scheme allows individual investors to hold gilt accounts with the RBI and invest in government securities. So a gilt account is an account, that account is used for holding the government securities. Then review of liquidity coverage ratio, that is the LCR. So RBI plans to review the framework on LCR for better management of liquidity risk by banks. So for better management, a framework on LCR is thought. The LCR measures the proportion of high quality liquid assets the financial institutions hold. High quality liquid assets. And the banks under the LCR framework must maintain a stock of HQLA to cover 30 days of net outflow under stressed conditions when the situations are not good, with a minimum LCR of 100% since January 2019. And HQLA, which is the high quality asset, it includes cash, short-term bonds, cash equivalents and excess statutory liquidity ratio, marginal standing facility assets and the facility to avail liquidity for liquidity coverage ratio. Then comes the next topic, and that is onion export ban and associated challenges. So with regard to onion, the export ban has been going on since last few months. So the Indian government recently has allowed some onion exporters to export onions to UAE despite an ongoing export ban. So even though the ban is going on, but still to UAE the onion export has been allowed, aiming to reduce domestic surplus. The critics have argued that the selling price in the UAE market is significantly lower than the global price, and which is reducing their profit margins. Now current issue related to the export of onion. So that is, in December 2023, the Indian government has banned onion export to prevent our domestic shortage, and we also saw that the prices of onion went up, but allowed exporters to specific countries, and specific countries being the UAE, on diplomatic request. But the shipments of onion to the UAE have resulted in a considerable price gap, because the price which was getting in UAE is lower than the global market price. So the onion prices in major markets like the UAE have surged to as high as 1,500 per ton, while India's recent shipments to the UAE were sent at around 500 to 550 per ton. But the export which is going from India is not able to get the desired benefits. So concerns raised by the exporters, so that first is the lack of transparency. So the process of determining export prices and selecting exporters and importers, it lacks transparency, which is leading to concerns among farmers and exporters. Exporters allege that some importers in the UAE have made windfall profit at the expense of Indian farmers. So they are buying onion from Indian farmers at a lower rate, and then they are selling it to the UAE population at a much higher price, and they are able to earn the windfall profits. Windfall profits means earning very high profits. Then violation of trade norms. So the local onion suppliers bid for the lowest possible price, while buyers are selected based on the highest price offered. So buyer is who is offering the highest price. So exporters argue that this practice is not being followed in the case of the UAE. Now concerns raised by the onion farmers. So what the farmers are saying? Absence of MSP. So in the case of onion, the minimum support price is not there. So they are reliant on the market forces. Then second, that is the price disparity. So farmers are paid very low prices for their onions compared to the prices at which these onions are sold in the international markets. Then unseasonal heavy rains also damaged their crop, so they need higher profit share. Then export bans. So frequent bans on onion export by the government due to domestic shortages can disrupt the market and affect farmers' income. So the market can be disrupted and the farmers' income can be affected. Then international treaties, policies related to import and export of agricultural products. So first and foremost is the WTO agreement on agriculture. WTO is the World Trade Organization. So this agreement aims to reform trade in the sector and make policies more market oriented, including commitments to reduce subsidy, lower trade barriers, and make trade more predictable and transparent, and India is a party to this treaty. Then agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures. So this can be, these measures protect human, animal or plant life or health from risk arising from the introduction of pests and diseases, or from additives, containments, toxins or disease causing organisms in food, beverage or feedstuff. So India is also a party to the sanitary and phytosanitary measure. Then International Plant Protection Convention, that is IPPC. It protects the world's plant resources. It protects the world's plant resources from the spread and introduction of pests and promote safe trade. Promotion of safe trade is the mantra. So India is a party to this convention also. Then comes the next topic, that is T+0 Settlement Cycle. So it has recently been included. So the Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange have introduced trading in the T+0 beta version of the settlement cycle in the equity segment on an optional basis. So it is not compulsory, it is optional in nature. People can opt for it, and if they do not want, they can leave it also. This follows the Security and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, issuing operational guidelines for the shorter tenure settlement cycle. Now, what is the T+0 trading settlement cycle? So, in December 2023, SEBI proposed introducing a facility for clearing and settlement of funds. It means that whether both the parties have got the funds or the settlement has been done between them or not. On T+0, T+0 means that settlement is done on the same day the transaction has taken place. But this is on optional basis in addition to the existing T+1 settlement cycle. So the cycle which is being followed as of now is T+1, that is the day on which the transaction has been made plus 1 day. But now it is T+0, no extra day is given, things will be settled in the same day. Then under the T+0 trade cycle, the settlement of trades would occur on the same day after the closure of the T+0 market. So on same day it can be done. This means that if investors sell a share, they will sell a share same day, they will receive the money same day, and that money will be credited in their account in the same day. So that is T+0. And this is the world's fastest stock settlement system. World's fastest stock settlement system. In comparison, the current T+1 system involves a delay of 1 business days. It means that the transaction and the credit of the money and the settlement of everything needs 1 extra day. With the introduction of the new T+0 settlement system, sellers would have instant access to 100% of their cash on the day of the transaction. So same day things will be settled. So the period that a person was waiting need not be there. Now, what will be the benefit from this? So a shortened settlement cycle will bring cost and time efficiency, because things will be done at a faster pace. Transparency will be there, because if things will not be done on the same day, then what is wrong will come out openly. Then it also provides flexibility in terms of faster payout to the funds, so that if the person can use that fund for some other things also, it will allow better control over funds of the people. Then this will further free up capital in the securities market, as more money will come into the cycle. Next, that is India's first small scale LNG unit in Madhya Pradesh. So this will be India's first LNG, that is the liquefied natural gas unit in Madhya Pradesh. So India's first small scale liquefied natural gas unit will be inaugurated in Madhya Pradesh. And this initiative aligns with the government's broader goals of promoting the use of natural gas in various sectors, and then the share in the country's primary energy mix to go by 15% by the year 2030. So the target year for achieving the 15% target is 2030. Then what is LNG and what is SSLNG? So LNG is the liquefied natural gas, which is a natural gas, and it is cooled to a liquid state. The temperature is -260 degree Fahrenheit or 162 degree Celsius minus, for easier and safer storage and transport. The composition is, it is the primary component being methane, which is comprising around 70 to 90% of its composition. Then about its global usage. So according to the IEA, natural gas accounts for about a quarter of global electricity generation. It means 25%. And its share in India's energy basket is currently 6.7%, and we need to work towards increasing this percentage. Top producers among the world is United States, Russia, Iran. So these are the top 3 producers. Then SSLNG. So that is, it involves liquefying and transporting natural gas on a smaller scale. So this is done on a smaller scale. Benefits: it reduces dependency on costly gas imports and promotes cleaner energy, supporting India's transition towards sustainable fuel sources, because it is done on a smaller scale and on small quantities. Then major applications where the LNG is used. So first and foremost is the transportation. Now we see that more and more vehicles are shifting towards the CNG and the LNG. Then industrial application, it is used for power generation, heating, cooling applications in industrial processes. Then energy storage and backup. Then LNG complements renewable energy sources like wind and solar by providing backup power. Then what are the challenges with the SSLNG? So that is high cost. So as of now the cost is high. The construction of LNG liquefaction and regasification facilities along with transportation cost makes it very expensive, because as of now not everything has shifted to it. So the infrastructure for this is expensive. Then environmental impacts. Although they are cleaner than the coal, LNG production and transportation still produce environmental impacts such as methane emissions, and this methane emissions can be very dangerous. Then safety concerns. It is highly flammable and can pose significant safety risk if not handled properly. So that is why the logistics and the infrastructure is a big challenge with regard to the transportation of LNG. What is compressed natural gas? That is what is CNG. So it is a natural gas compressed under high pressure, very high pressure, allowing it to occupy a smaller volume in fuel tanks. So you need to remember that it is done with regard to high pressure. Then compression. It is usually compressed at pressure ranging from 200 to 250 kg centimeter square, reducing its volume to less than 1%. Less than 1% of its size at atmospheric pressure. Then composition. Unlike LPG, LPG is a mixture of compressed butane and propane. CNG primarily consists of 80 to 90% of methane in a gaseous state. So CNG is also methane. Then advantages of it. CNG is lighter than air and disperses quickly in case of leaks. It is a clean burning fuel with minimum residue. Then it produces lower greenhouse gas emissions. Then it has high safety due to its high auto ignition temperature, and it is cost effective also. Disadvantages: it requires large fuel tanks, limited range per fill up, fewer filling stations available. One of the major problems, that is infrastructure. Then retrofitting older vehicles for CNG is challenging, and that can also pose safety issues. Then next topic, that is unemployment in India. So according to the Periodic Labour Force Survey, that is PLFS, conducted by the NSSO, that is National Samples Survey Office, in 2023, India's unemployment rate has dropped significantly, marking the lowest in the past 3 years. So the unemployment rate has lowered. So India's unemployment rate, the unemployment rate for individuals aged 15 and above, that is 15 plus, it has dropped to 3.1% in 2023, and this 3.1% is lowest in the last 3 years. 2022 it was 3.6%, 2021 it was 4.2%. Among the females, the unemployment rate has dropped to 3%, and then the unemployment rate for females has also decreased to 3.2%. Then recovery in employment scenario. Let's see this. After the COVID pandemic and the physical activity resuming again, so this has increased the economic activity. Then urban and rural unemployment. Urban areas has witnessed a reduction in unemployment of 5.2% in 2023 as compared to in 2022 it was 5.9%, and in 2021 it was 6.5%. Then rural areas experienced a decrease in unemployment to 2.4% in 2023, 2022 2.8%, 2021 3.3%. Then comes the point of economic growth. Positive employment data follows reports of India's economic growth surging to 8.4% in third quarter of 2023-24. So economic growth is also can be seen. So the National Statistics Office second advanced estimate projects India's growth at 7.6% for the entire fiscal year of 2023-24. Now about the PLFS, that is the Periodic Labor Force Survey. So it is conducted by the NSO, that is the National Statistics Office, to produce annual statistics of employment and unemployment characteristics for rural and urban areas with quarterly estimates for urban areas. Objective: estimate key employment and unemployment indicators like work population ratio, labor force participation rate, unemployment rate in short time interval of 3 months for urban areas only. So this is for only urban areas. Estimate employment and unemployment indicators in both usual status and current weekly status in both rural and urban areas. Now about unemployment. What is unemployment? So unemployment refers to the condition where individuals who are capable of working and are looking to seek employment but they are not able to find secure and suitable jobs. Now what are the measures of unemployment? Unemployment rate is calculated as number of unemployed workers upon total labor force into 100. So the total labor force includes the employed and unemployed individuals. It means who are employed and who are seeking unemployment. Now types of unemployment. First, structural unemployment. It is a mismatch between workforce, skill and available job position. One of the most basic problem of our market. Then cyclical unemployment. This is tied to the economic cycles throughout the year. Frictional or transitional unemployment. Temporary transition between jobs, like for example when a person changes his or her jobs, then in between for a month or for few days the person is not working. Then underemployment, that individuals employed in positions that underutilize their skills or provide insufficient working hours. Hidden unemployment, individuals not actively seeking employment due to discouragement or other factors. So this is hidden unemployment. Then disguised unemployment occurs when more workers are involved in a task than necessary, like for example agriculture. People of one family working together in one field. Now major causes of unemployment in India: population size. We have a huge population size and the number of people in the workforce is also very high. Skills mismatch, what the supply and the demand is very different. Then informal sector dynamics and policy implementation challenges, global economic factors. So these are few of the major causes of unemployment in India, most being the skill mismatch. And now the problem which India nowadays is also facing is the educated unemployment, that the educated people or who are graduates, they are not seeking unemployment and they are not seeking employment, and the percentage of unemployment is increasing a bit among the educated Indians. So these are few of the topics that we discussed today. Let us see once what are the topics that we discussed. Unemployment in India. India's first small scale LNG unit in Madhya Pradesh. Remember the name of the state: T+0 Settlement Cycle. Onion export ban and associated challenges. Reform by RBI for financial inclusion and digital innovation. So these are the topics that we discussed in the last episode of Economy Current Affairs. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.